Hello everyone, this is Zeeebo and welcome to this AFK journey video. So in this AFK journey video, we're going to do some Supreme Plus testing for Hugin, which is the latest A-level light bearer support character to drop on the VN side. So right here we have Hugin maxed out, EX15 charm set fully set up with the Supreme Plus here. So before we start testing this unit, I will do a simple recap for his skill kit for those of you guys who haven't seen the previous video. So this unit is a support unit, which is pretty much a mix between Raina as well as Coco, because this unit has a massive attack buff from the ultimate itself. So this skill allows him to buff one ally, the highest damage dealing one, with his base attack upwards to 15% and increases their haste by 80 for 10 seconds. So another interesting fact to note is that this skill has an initial energy of 600, which means that you can sort of use this as a way to bait out Lily May's ultimate, or use this skill to actually charge up your ultimate, or whatever ultimate cycling skills you want to abuse with really quickly, because this allows you to start up the engine, increase the haste of your other allies so that their ultimate cycling becomes faster as well. And then on top of this buff, he also has this mechanized bond, which deals additional buff upwards to 30% if you're able to get the skill power. But if you're using the blast charm, then you get 20% of Hugin's base attack on the ally, and the ally gains an extra 75 energy whenever Hugin casts the second skill, which is the Titan Aegis skill. So Titan Aegis is the shielding skill. So this skill crafts a cork shield for the weakest ally to shield them for 8 seconds, and this shield value is massive. Right, 660% is really huge, and if you do have skill power, then it could go up to 960%. And on top of that, he also has the Steelbound Kinship over here, which crafts enhanced cork shield for the two weakest ally when casting Unstoppable, providing each with a shield that blocks 800% damage for 8 seconds. So this can go up to 900%, and this can also grant control immunity for the shielded ally. So he has two ways to shield the ally, and on top of the shield value, if you have the Supreme Plus skill of Hugin unlocked, you'll be able to get the additional damage reduction on the shielded ally itself. So that's why it's a mix between Coco as well as Raina, because you have buffing, a lot of it, and you also have shielding and a lot of it with damage reduction. And on top of that, right, his charm ability is that of a Raina one, so we can actually say that he could be a decent replacement for Raina, or he could be better than Raina, but we need more testing for that. So in today's video, we'll try to see whether or not we can see a difference between the usage of Raina as well as Hugin in the various situations. Okay, so for the PvE side, I actually wanted to test him in the Dream Realm as well as the AFK stage, but a lot of these contents, number one, they're either not in the seasonal mode, so we will not be able to see this unit in comparison to the global side. And another thing is because this account is really strong, and for the AFK stage, we are at the lower end, so we just rush through everything and there's nothing much for me to show. So we will actually refer to Titan River, where they set all the units to a specific levels to talk about and showcase this unit. So right here we have Olsen as well as Crystal Beetle. So for Olsen's kit right here, we are using Raina. Okay, I think this is a good situation to use showcase Hugin, because we are using this team. Right now we are using Raina. Later on we will showcase this team with Hugin, and this will also give us a very similar factional bonus, because we'll still get 3-2 because we are using a light bearer. So let's go with this one for this team 1, and then for this team 2. Okay, so I fast forwarded the second battle because we wanted to compare the first team. So this is the damage distribution for the first team right now, supported by Raina. Okay, so now next, let us move on to... Okay, so I fast forwarded to the end of battle 2 because like our goal is to run through the numbers with Hugin and talk about Hugin in general. So this is Raina with the light bearer team. Damage distribution, Sinbad doing 200 mil, Sonya doing 155, Elsa doing 95 over here. Okay, now let's move on to second round of testing. Now with Hugin. So we are at 520 with Raina. So let's see whether or not Hugin buff on Sinbad is going to increase our damage. And without further ado, let us run through the battle and talk about Hugin's kit together. Okay, so at the start of battle, he will provide a buff with the charm ability to our dear Sinbad. And then he throws a shield at Mikola, granting her this damage immunity orange color aura. Very good stuff. So whenever he casts his ultimate, he will be able to shield 2 allies with the EX weapon ability. So that shield in turns give the ally control immunity as well as damage reduction. So this increases their survival. Okay, so he uses ultimate and then he tosses these 2 balls at the target. Actually, his animation is really cool though. Yeah, so whenever he shoots the target, he'll throw the ball, as you guys can see right here. So this time around, it goes into the Mikola. And as long as the shield is active, the ally cannot be controlled by Olsen over here. So we are going to camp on the front line. Really nice stuff, by the way. Okay. So I think he's continuously putting the buff onto Sinbad, because I think Sinbad has the most line of buff. Okay. Elsa just spamming the skill over there. Okay, so his animation and his skill kit is pretty simple, right? He just attack, and then he will spam his anvil to buff up the allies with the attack buff as well as the shielding whenever the skill is off cooldown. So we're going to go at 2 times and see the final damage. Looking really good, by the way, because right now we are about 300 million. Let's see whether we can break the 520 million mark. So far throughout the whole battle, you can see our units not being moved from the front line because they have the control immunity as well as the shield coming out from Hugin right here. So this could be actually quite good against certain bosses where the boss have a lot of control. So that's one strength that this unit have over Rainer, because for Rainer's kit, you do provide more damage on the boss with the debuff, right? You also get like quite a bit of damage reduction on one ally, but this one is a continuous all ally and very subjective healing on the ally itself. Okay, so moving to the final numbers, this is the final damage distribution. So the second team tipped pretty much the same. The first team lost a little bit of damage. So this is with Hugin. Okay, this is with Raina. So the damage loss is from Sinbad as well as Elsa. So there could be some RNG factor because these units are moving all around, and Sinbad is a unit that exits the battlefield, which could affect the buffing cycle over with Hugin. So RNG factor plus a little bit of movement factor could have changed out this damage, but I'll say Hugin together with Reiner in this situation, they're highly similar in terms of what they do and the amount of buff and damage they are able to provide for the team itself. And looking at the battle just now, I'm not going to run through the battle because I'm not able to skip through Titan River, but looking at the battle just now, I feel that Hugin is a character that would actually replace Coco in the pre-endless mode, because Coco is used in a lot of the pre-endless mode teams because of her massive shielding ability with a little bit of attack buff, 10% right here, as well as a damage increase right here. So Coco is super duper defensive. But if you take a look at Hugin right here, he's able to shield one time and he's able to shield 2 more times whenever he casts his ultimate. So his shield value is definitely there. On top of that, he's also able to spam his skill with more haste, and he's also able to provide for the damage reduction, which Coco is able to do as well. And on top of all that, has more attack buff on the ally to give you more damage. So I got a like really good gut feeling that Sonya and Hugin together would be dominating in the pre-endless Dream Realm state in the next season because of how the mechanics work in favor to the physical magical team, as well as the light bearer side and all the buffing ability of Hugin and Sonya together, making your team super duper stacked up. Yeah, although I'm a little bit doubtful whether or not Hugin can actually replace Smokey as well as Mikola, but we shall see. There could be a possibility as well. That is my thought about this unit so far, at least based on this testing over here. So probably more of a Coco replacement in the pre-endless Dream Realm, and in the endless mode, probably on the same level as Rainer, but it's subjected to how you build your team and what affectional bonuses you can get, because Rainer's just a lot more flexible. You can put Rainer into like maybe 2 different types of faction and still get like 4-1 buff. Whereas if you put Hugin together with Wilders and Maulers, then you might be losing a little bit on stats on the factional bonus side. So that's for the bossing component. Now, I actually wanted to showcase the PvP side, but unfortunately for Rarish Realm, we are not on the Light Bearer side. For the arena side, this is how things look like. So there's pretty much nothing for me to show because all these are all base units. So like we can't actually showcase a Supreme Plus Hugin here. Same thing for Dream Realm. We are not in the seasonal Dream Realm because it's a reset on the Pioneer server. So there's that. And then with regards to the other game modes itself, I can't actually hit Guild Supremacy. Honor though doesn't have Hugin yet, maybe Arcane Labyrinth, but I think we have seen pretty much enough of his kit, of that Titan River runs itself, to actually think that this unit is probably going to be decently good in the PvP side, because he's both a buffer for the team together with a protection with the control immunity. So that's my guess. We'll wait until he drops on the global server before getting him to Supreme Plus and then testing him out with my own account right there. So that's it for this video. Let me know what you think about Hugin so far, and thank you very much for tuning in. Do remember to like and subscribe to see more. See you guys again in my next video. Bye guys.